Namaste students, welcome to part 2 of the video tutorial on shape of the earth, chapter 1, standard 9 geography. I am Jaydeep Mehta. This tutorial will talk about the shape of the earth and the evidences that support the shape of the earth. So what is the actual shape of the earth? You would all agree and you know it very well that the shape of the earth is round. But this was not the case in the past. In the past, people believed that the earth was flat and if you traveled to the edge of the earth, you would fall off the earth. This was proved wrong by Christopher Columbus, who in his journey towards the continent of India, towards the west, felt that he and his crew would fall off the edge of the earth. Fortunately, he traveled to the West Indies and found West Indies from the west, proving that the earth was not flat. Even before Columbus, 2500 years ago, the Greek mathematician Pythagoras also said that the earth is round. What are the evidences that are used to support this fact? The photographs of the earth and earth's rotation. This photograph of the earth was taken from the Apollo 17 mission in 1972, who reached the moon and landed on the moon. While returning, they turned the capsule in such a way that they were able to take this photograph of the earth. This photograph for the first time shows the illuminated side of the whole earth, as the sun was behind the astronauts. This photograph clearly shows that the earth is round and not flat. One of the most convincing evidences of the round earth. But even people at that time disregarded this fact, saying that the earth might be shaped like a disc or a frisbee. So in order to prove them wrong, another evidence which was very convincing was taken or shown by the spacecraft Galileo in 1990. This animated recorded video shows the earth rotating on its axis. This is the most convincing proof that the earth was not flat and it is actually round. Sunrise and sunset, second evidence. The world has been divided into time zones as different places on the earth experience sunrise and sunset at different times. If the earth was flat, all places would have day and night at the same time, sunrise and sunset at the same time, but it is not so. Third evidence is Coriolis effect. If you observe on the rotating surface, a ball is deflected towards the left when it is pushed. All objects on a rotating surface are deflected towards their left or the right. For example, this hurricane in the northern hemisphere seems to be deflected towards its right as seen from Texas. Hurricanes in the southern hemisphere seem to be deflected towards their left as seen in Brazil. Fourth evidence is changing position of stars. Now stars, they change their positions when observed from north of the equator or south of the equator. For example, the Orion belt looks like this in the northern hemisphere, while it is reverse if seen from Australia in the southern hemisphere. Evidence 5. Triangles. If you travel 10,000 kilometers straight on the earth's surface, turn right at 90 degrees, travel for 10,000 kilometers, turn again at 90 degrees and travel for 10,000 kilometers, you will reach the same place on the earth from where you started. Thus, you will have a triangle of 3 right angles. Any mathematics students will tell you that this cannot be true. Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigated the earth, which means he started to sail in the west direction from Portugal, continued traveling west and reached at the same place after circumnavigating the earth. He was dead, but his crew members reached the ship, proving that the earth is round. Horizon. This picture shows that some buildings, the taller part, upper part of the buildings are seen in this picture. If you see the sunrise lying down and you get up again, you will be able to see the sunrise again. If the earth was flat, you would not have the horizon. If the earth was flat, you would not have this horizon over which you could see the upper part of the city, but you would be able to see the whole earth with the mountains behind. Sinking ship theory. Let's say your friend sets to sail on his boat into the open sea. Now, if you observe carefully, the ship would appear smaller and smaller as it travels away from the coast. But beyond the line of sight, that is beyond the horizon, if you continue to observe, the ship would appear to sink. Now, if the ship was sinking, it would be a terrible shame, but actually it is traveling over the curved surface of the earth beyond the horizon. This happens because as the ship moves along further away from the line of sight shown in the dotted line, it's actually traveling on the curved surface of the earth, so the ship appears to sink as it moves away from the line of sight. Evidence number 9. Photographs of other celestial bodies. Now, in the solar system, the photographs of all the planets and the sun shows that the objects are round. So, Earth cannot be an exception to this, and Earth's shape has to be round. So, now we know that Earth is a sphere, but is it a perfect sphere? Let's look at the measurements of the Earth from north-south and east-west extent. If you watch carefully, the polar diameter of the Earth is 12,714 kilometers, while the equatorial diameter is 12,756 kilometers. This proves that the Earth is flatter at the poles and has a bulge at the center. This shape of the Earth is known as a geoid, which is not completely spherical. Thanks for watching. Coming up next, chapter 2, latitudes and longitudes.